guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to go over all of the things that I do and consider while I'm terraforming an island. I'm going to take you through my terraforming process and what I'm thinking while I'm terraforming, and I will show you guys a little bit of the terraforming as we go along. One of the very first things that I consider when I'm about to terraform an island, the very first thing is a list of the areas that definitely need to be included in the island. So if you want a huge castle, or if you want a lake to be a feature on your island, any of the features, in my case, this is my permanent island. So there were some things that needed to happen in order to complete the Nook Miles goals, because that is one of my goals for this island personally, and things that needed to be included on the island in order for me to complete my goals on the island and to just get things done that I want to be able to get done. So those things for me were a functioning vegetable garden, a clifftop river, a pond, an orchard, and a hybrid garden, which will later become a rainbow garden. So one of my goals on this island was to breed every flower, every hybrid flower, and I'm still working on that. So I need that hybrid garden to actually exist. I figure later I'll just turn it into a rainbow garden. Since the whole island's going to be neutral, it'll be a nice pop of color later. Definitely consider your theme, which is number 2. My theme is forest farm core for this island. So the type of terraforming that I'm going to be doing is not going to be as waterscaping heavy as I normally would. Usually I use a lot of waterscaping, and in this case I'm not going to be doing that because it is my permanent island. I want it to be a little bit more accessible. I don't want to have to hop over waters and rivers and things in order to get to my villager houses to gift them. I do want all of my villager photos on this island. I want to do all of the things on this island and reach all of my Nook Miles goals. So I don't want things to be too complicated. So I'm going to make it a very nice, simple, neutral forest core. I'm definitely keeping that in mind when I decorate, and everything needs to be accessible. So that is also something that I'm keeping in mind. Okay, what type of terraforming are you going to be doing? Are you going to do something with very heavy waterscaping? If you are, then make sure you plot out where your houses and everything are going to be. I would use the dirt path or any path so that it shows up on your map, and then you can have it work cohesively with your waterscaping and not run into any accidents later on. Any special additions that you want, if you want a sunken path or a land bridge or anything large like that, any features, all of those, you should maybe keep in mind where you want to place them. On this island, I do have a land bridge, and I wanted a sunken house, and I wanted it in front of my house, and there were some features that I wanted to have on my island just for aesthetics, and I wanted to make sure that I plotted those out and they had a place just right away, so that I had those views already planned out and nothing else took their places and everything else fit on my island well. When you're doing this, one of the most important things to keep in mind is that everything can be adjusted. Everything. So when I do my base terraforming in the very beginning, it really just helps give me a guideline for where to go and what to do, but all of it can be adjusted. Like, adjustments can be made. Nothing is set in stone. I always have my terraforming tool, so all of these things can be changed ever so slightly in order to make room for things that maybe were surprises or that I didn't plot out the space well enough. So do this knowing that it doesn't have to be perfect when you terraform it out. This is just a base and a guideline and something to start with. Your terraforming is just a starting point. One of the most important things that I run into is making sure that I plan out my bridges and inclines. I'm the type of person who will run out of bridges and inclines, so I make sure that I mark those out on my map as I'm going along, and I don't overbuild and make things so inaccessible that I don't have enough inclines or bridges to do what I want to do. So make sure that you keep in mind the number of bridges and inclines that you want to use and plan for that accordingly. Maybe mark them off with a path so that you can see them on the map. They are a 3x2 for inclines and bridges. I don't know, I just mark either side. They take up 4 squares, so I just mark off either side so that I can see it. I know where I'm going to put it. But that is one of the most important things, is just keeping in mind your inclines, your bridges. The larger areas, start with the larger areas first. I cannot stress this enough. Start with your larger areas, then branch out of those and make your transition areas. I don't really do transition areas. Every area on my island is kind of a feature, so it just goes from one to another thing. Whatever your style is, plot your transition areas first. Don't whatever your style is, plot your transition areas right outside of your large areas, but terraform your largest areas first and then move them cohesively into your next builds. You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of disjointed areas that are weird in shape and that you can't do anything with. So make sure that you plot your big areas, but then you build your transition and then go into the next big area, so that you don't have like an odd kind of space that you don't know how to decorate or what to do with it later. You don't want to get stuck in that situation, because I've seen people tear down their whole islands over it, and it doesn't have to be that serious. Personally, terraforming in advance has been a game changer for me. It's saved my game. It really has. It's given me a guideline. I have a tendency to make builds really, really, really huge. And sometimes in doing that, I've taken up so much space. I've found myself with an extra villager that I didn't know where to put at the end of it, because everybody else's areas were so huge, and they ended up like in a corner on a beach somewhere and with like 2 squares of space. So terraforming in advance has really, really helped me out, and hopefully you guys can find some value in it, and that this video helps you out and helps you plan your islands out in advance as well. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I know you guys could be doing anything in the entire world, and you chose to hang out with me, and I appreciate you so much for that. I will see you in the next one. Bye.